Hey everybody, Cameron here with Plottr, and we are plotting out my next book. We're using the Story Genius method, and we are on the second to last step here. We're getting so close to the end. It's step 36. So come along with me. Let's finish this together. Step 36, second to last step. Here's what we're doing. We're going to finish the beginning. So this one, the description here is short. While the scene cards you have for events further down your novel's timeline may still have nothing more than their alpha point noted, chances are scene cards 2 through 5 are probably just about complete. If not, do what Jenny just did, asking questions and filling in any logic gaps that leap out at you until these cards are ready to transition into an actual scene. And the example on pages 246 to 253 are Jenny asking questions, or Lisa asking her questions and Jenny answering those questions, or just filling out logic. And so it's just paragraphs of conversation, or Lisa just teaching something about what Jenny said. So it's kind of a dispersed example here. And then there's some good quotes that I want to go over that talk about the third rail. So the trick is to make sure that each scene touches the third rail, forcing your protagonist to make a difficult decision that's part of an escalating cause and effect trajectory. You want to plunge us into action, and at the same time, this is the crucial part, give us enough insight into your protagonist to understand what the action means to her. We need to know what's really at stake. And then later on she says, because just as action is meaningless unless it's having an effect on someone, abstract thought is boring unless it's spurred by action. So those are some important things to keep in mind as we're working on these scenes. You do that for each scene, it seems like. You want to make sure it touches that third rail. Okay, I think my scene 2 through 5 are pretty well set, but that's what we're doing today. So working on scene 2 to 5, gonna fill out the scene cards of those and make sure there's no logic gaps, ask myself questions about those, think through every important detail about them. And that's what we're working on today. So I'll see you on the other side, I guess. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am done with this step for today. It was a little more involved than I thought, which usually is the case, but I thought scene 2 through 5 was pretty well set, and it turns out they weren't. So this was really good, and I got to think through subplots and story logic and Leiwa's reasoning for doing things, all sorts of things. It was really good. I'm not going to go over everything, but basically what I did is I just filled out all the story genius templates for all the scenes, scene 2 through 5, and just read through everything, made sure it still made sense with everything I know about the story now. And most of it I had to change. I don't think there was one where I just said, yep, that's good, and moved on. I um I didn't change everything about them either, but there was a lot to either add more detail or explain better, or now I understood it better because there was a lot of I don't know if this makes sense, and so I was able to change that. I added a lot of subplots to them because now I know what's going on in the other characters that are in these scenes. I know what's going on in their character arc, so I was able to fill that out. Um, so for each one of these, I went through, filled out the story genius, made it make more sense and have more detail. This one almost had nothing in it, so I had to fill in a lot there. And the other thing that I did is I went through a lot of these subplots and started thinking through where it makes more sense to actually do some of these things and what's actually going to happen more detailed for each one of these characters. Which, man, we're on step, what is it? The second to last step, step 36. And I thought most of these were pretty well set, but every time I come back to them, I'm like, oh yeah, there's all these details I got to do. So there's still lots that hasn't been done. And for me personally, that's okay. Like I'm lean more towards the pantser, so I'm totally okay with that. And I'm chomping at the bit to start writing here. If you're more of the gotta have everything set in stone plotter type person, maybe this is maybe each one of these steps you're going to take the time and dig into every detail a little bit more and make sure all this makes sense before you start writing. But for me, I want to just start writing, and these details will work themselves out either in the writing or draft 2 or 3 or something like that. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, so it's just really whatever makes sense for you, your writing process, and this is how it's good for me. I like still things up in the air a little bit because I feel like that gives me a little bit of freedom, but I'm not lost. I know where I'm going. I know what needs to be written. So this has been extremely helpful to have these steps that walk me through, and I'm already kind of going into a summary of this whole process, which I won't do until we're done with the next one. So in step 37, that's what I'm going to kind of talk about, or maybe I'll do a video after step 37 of what I think of this process, how what's good and what's bad, would I do it again, those kind of things. But yeah, that's step 36 for today. Finish the beginning. So I think my beginning is finished, and I can't wait to start writing it. We got one more step, and this is more of a summary and well, I'll talk about that next video. You'll find out then. I'll leave it on a cliffhanger. So yeah, we'll see you next step. Thanks for joining me on step 36. We'll see you for the last one next week. Can't wait for this. See you then. Thanks for joining me.